Good morning, everybody. It is a couple minutes past 11. Actually, it's like 11:01, so I'm okay. I'm a little bit running behind today, so we're gonna get through this. Let me get set up on my computer real quick. I don't know why I do this, but it seems like the right thing to do. I don't know. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds for everybody to get joined. I will tell you, I've been up, I got up, made sure I was up by 7 for a phone call, and then they weren't taking phone calls until 8, and then ended up I didn't need to call anyways. So I've been doing all these things all morning, getting ready, got my coffee. Let's turn it this way. Victoria. So I've been trying to get a bunch of things done this morning. So when I do that, I'm always behind a little bit on what I really should be doing. That's kind of my life. So I actually did oh my gosh, I'm said 100 times so far. I actually had the whole video set up, the description set up, all the things, and then started doing something else, and then my iPad timed out and deleted everything, and then I realized it was after 11, so I need to get started. And so I went ahead and just started it without doing the description, so I can go back and add all that stuff later. And so a few things that I've done today so far is I started a VIP page for Black Dog Pottery, very important painters. So I'm planning on, I'm gonna turn my phone volume off and my computer volume off. That way we're not hearing a bunch of craziness. I think that's off. Okay, that's off. So I've got my Victoria coffee cup here, and so this I collect the, what is this one? Been There series. So I collected the You Are Here series for a long time, and now I'm starting to get the Been There series because they changed those out if anybody's interested. So today we're going to talk about Sgraffito and scratching, and this is suggested by Amanda, our awesome Amanda that works with us. And so this is Sgraffito here. Basically, Sgraffito is scratching in. Actually, let me Google Sgraffito real quick, and I will tell you exactly what it means. I meant to have this done too. I'm just behind. The form of decoration made by scratching through a surface to reveal a lower layer. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So I have an example of doing it on pottery, and then an example of doing it a non-pottery version. And so before we do that, I'm going to run over a few things. First of all, I started the VIP page, very important painters. It's going to be a closed group, so if you want to join that, you have to click the request, and then we have to give you permission to join. But by doing that, I am going to do a Zoom meeting today at noon, and from noon to 1-ish, depending on how it goes. So if you want to join that, so I don't know if you guys have Zoomed before. I guess that's probably a new term that we're all used to with this whole situation. So it's more of like an interactive, so you can, if you have a camera, you can be part of the whole Zoom meeting. So it's more of a face-to-face type thing. So if anybody wants to come and hang out and Zoom with me later at noon after this video is over, I will be there. And so like I said, the information is on the closed VIP page. So just ask to join that, and I'll say yes, and then you just log in there. I think I've only Zoomed on my computer, but you do have to have an app, and it's doable on your phone, iPad, whatever tablet you have usually. And then the other thing is, again, just the sticker donation, $5 on the website. The link will be in the description when you want. So we're doing a $5 donation for those. You'll get a free sticker and a free 10% off coupon, and then that'll be available after we open back up. Man, deep breath. Okay, so Sgraffito. I'm going to show a couple things. First of all, in my own pottery, so this is used with, this is just some Sgraffito I have done that is, you do this Sgraffito when the clay is still wet, leather hard essentially. So that means it's still wet to carve into, but not so dry. So that dry is bone dry. Leather hard is when it's still kind of workable. So I just use a scratching tool and carve in to the clay usually. And this is one of my favorite things to do. One of these days, I'm gonna do my Zen doodling and Zen tangling-ish tutorial, and that will just that will help out on how to do that type of decoration. I need to go grab one thing real quick. Okay, I'm back. So I walked by that thing like 15 times this morning, and apparently I forgot to grab it. Hello, good morning, Becky. So anyways, let me set my phone over here, and let's see, I've got a couple things, the pictures, I don't know, I feel like I have a process I do when we're doing the videos in the morning, so it kind of helps me to show the pictures and stuff. So here's another image. I have this one at the shop. You may or may not have seen it there. And this is when it's leather hard. I painted the whole outside of the clay with the black underglaze, and then carved in, so it was raw clay. And then after it was bisque fired, then I went back and added glaze into the holes. So that is just another sample of Sgraffito. And then obviously Sgraffito at the shop is a little bit different. So here's the tile there that I have on the wall. And this one is essentially done by just laying down a stencil over the top, and then carving it with the skewer. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the pottery version of that. And then I'll jump into, after that's over, jump into doing a more accessible version if you don't have pottery at the shop. Let me do a little dance for you. Okay, guys, I got up this morning, and like I said, I got up at 7, and I was just hanging out, and I took a shower between now and then, but I was like, I'm just gonna put my sweatpants back on. And then I got out of the shower, and then I started putting all my clothes on, and my earrings on, and my makeup on, and I was like, that was way different than what I was gonna be doing with just wearing my sweatpants today. So you guys are lucky. Just kidding, you can't see my pants anyways. That's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip you down real quick like. What I've done so far is, if you do Sgraffito at the shop, I'll just hold this up real quick. Actually, I'll do this. I just took a coaster because it's gonna be the easiest thing to watch on. And I went ahead and painted one layer of white first. Because when we scratch in, we're going to want to kind of give it a little bit of cushion. So, excuse me, good morning, Bonnie. So I just went ahead and painted a layer of white, which basically you can't really tell because the bisque is always white. And I'm gonna clean my brush off real quick. Boop, boop, boop. So I'm gonna flip you guys down just a little bit farther into my workspace. So right behind me on the wall is our heater pump thingy, or thing up on the wall, and it is blowing. So if we get a little bit crazy, that's why it's blowing warm air on me, so I can stay going. So white, and then I'm gonna do black for the biggest contrast over the top of this. And you're gonna want it fairly thick. So the one thing with doing Sgraffito at the shop especially is, I pay no attention to the circles, is you want to not, this isn't a project you can come back and do, because if you wait too long, the glaze will be dry, and then you won't be able to dig into it as easy. You could take like a damp cloth and lay over the top of the glaze and soften it back up. So I was just reading a little comment there. So I'm just gonna give this a good coat. So you can, if you were to leave it too long and it dried out, you could spritz it with a fine mist of water to kind of rehydrate the glaze. And then I'm that looks like a pretty good coat. So I'm gonna just leave it with one coat. Normally you'd wanna do a couple coats. I'm glad that you're loving the decode kits, Becky. So you should post pictures of your setup on the page. I love seeing everybody's little setups and painting projects and stuff. So I'm gonna just let this dry real quick for a quick second. And then I actually pre-painted on the other side 2 colors. So I'm gonna do, good morning, Nicole. I'm gonna do, actually, I'll show you this now because it's already dry. When it's dry like this, it's not gonna like transfer onto the paper so much. So I'm gonna just let it flip over like this and let it keep drying while I do the top side. So let me clean my area a little bit. Coffee on my coaster and move my thing back. And so one of the things I like to do with the stencils, and I have this giant stencil and I don't have anything, all my other stencils are at the shop and I'm awesome about cleaning, can you tell? Dried paint, okay. So I'm going to just lay this right in the middle. And so what I did was I painted a darker color underneath, 3 coats, and then let that dry. And then I painted the lighter color over the top. So I did Beboppin'. Beboppin' blue is underneath. And then the Hinto Mint, which is, actually, let me show you on this guy. So these, actually it's these 2 colors. So I've got the dark blue underneath and then the light turquoise-ish minty color on the top. And I'm just gonna go and scrape. Actually, I don't want to dig in that far. Dig around and trace it. The blue dries quite a bit lighter, and it's not going to show up too much, but you're gonna, I'll hold this up and show you in a second. And then I'm just going to go around these diamonds real quick. If you were to, I did them probably right on top of each other, probably a little bit quicker than I wanted to. So if you wanted to paint a background color and then go back, let that dry really well and then go back and paint your top color, that'll allow the bottom color to dry a little bit harder, and you'll see a little bit more contrast. I'm gonna hold this up for you guys in just a second. But as far as stencil goes, I don't know if you guys have used stencils at the shop. They're kind of hard to use as far as painting like you would a normal stencil because of just all the different shapes that we have. This is one of my favorite ways to use the stencils. So you can see the blue there underneath. So it'll show up a little bit more, like I said, you know that when everything fires, it's a little bit more vibrant. So you can see how you'll see the edging, but there's also some white. So that just adds some different texture. And then I was thinking what would be kind of cool too, especially with this type of pattern, is you can go in and do some dotting within especially like the little star there. So yeah, that's a great idea as far as using the stencils, but then you're also, you could also do, I'll flip it over because my black is dry enough now, but you can see how, just because I did a couple extra layers of color, and that's a little bit what you want to do if you know you're gonna Sgraffito. A lot of times people don't think about Sgraffito or scratching as an option prior to painting. So if you know that you're going to, the best practice is to paint white first or another color first. That gives you a little bit of cushion. This is kind of a mess. I got my little Sgraffito crumbs everywhere. So then the other thing you can do, same idea. This is a stencil at the shop too that I just traced as a quick idea. It's not my best work, clearly. So I'm just gonna do a quick doodle on this one just to kind of show you another, just freehanding. And so you can just go all the way around the outside, however you want. And you can see that because I painted the white first and then did the black on top, how much more of definition you get. A lot of times, like if you just painted the black first, you can get it kind of scraping off in chunks a little bit. I've also seen some different kind of cool ones where you can do something like this and then just do some quick scratching like this. And that's gonna fire out to be a really kind of a cool design. So there's lots of options on Sgraffito to do different colors. I'm just gonna finish this random little abstract design we have going on. Maybe this is just going to be kind of like a sunset situation. And then if you know you're going to, if you really planned ahead on what you're going to do, instead of doing the white background, maybe I would have painted like sunset colors on top with dark blues on the bottom for like an ocean situation, but I just kind of made this up. So there's just a quick Sgraffito tutorial. I don't know in the layout of my sunset situation what's happening with this, but maybe they're clouds. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why I have to make sense of it either. So this is the background, or just a quick Sgraffito lesson on pottery. This is going to be funky because my Sgraffito crumbs are everywhere and getting on all my things. Probably also in my coffee, but I'll just drink those down. It's not a big deal. Okay, gonna flip you back up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my face. The other thing you can do, and this is what I do a lot at the shop, we have the big dry brushes at the, actually, let me go grab something real quick. All right, I'm back. Okay, so at the shop we have the big dry brushes for dusting your pieces off before you get started. They're actually really good on dusting off your pottery. So this is obviously not one of those, but I do have this giant brush at my house that I use for dusting things. So I'm gonna hope this is dry enough. So instead of like trying to smear this with my hand to get the stuff off, I'm gonna just take a dry brush and clean it. I still have a couple spots, but I don't have as many as I would. Same thing with the back. Let's show you on that. So I can go back and kind of pick those darker areas off or cover them up with dots if I wanted to do an outside dotting design. So you can see on that guy how there's like some crumminess where the scratching is. So I'm gonna just clean him off, get it in my eyeball. So now you can see that it's all kind of clean and no more of that crumminess. So once I'm done with this, I showed the video last Wednesday or Thursday, it was last Thursday, on paper masking, and in that, I don't know where it's at, in that one I did a border around the outside, so that's how I'm going to clean up the, oh here it is. So I just went around the outside on the paper masking, or the masking tape video, around the outside of the tile. So that's how I'll probably just clean up the edges of that. I won't show you that today, just for time's sake. Hey Amanda, yes, your Nomi is in the background. If they had arms, they'd say hi. So when you guys come to the gnome class when we're doing that one, you can put little arms on it. I don't know how that would work, but I'm just gonna dust my area off now with my giant paintbrush to get ready for the next project. All right, guys. So this, like I said earlier, was a project suggested. Now I'm gonna dust my iPad off. Suggested by Amanda, and so I have different ideas from what we do at the shop, and then sometimes when I have to come up with a bunch of ideas fairly quickly, I can't think of things that I really would like that goes with that's relatable to a non-pottery painting thing. So let me go back to my page. So, but what Amanda sent me yesterday was paper scratching, and I remember doing this as a kid, but this is essentially where you can color the back, color crayon on a paper, and then paint it over the top with black. Oh, hang on. Let me grab a couple more pictures. So the picture that I posted yesterday online that had the picture of the Sgraffito and the colored background, that's where I started. And I'm just going to add this picture to my shared background real quick so I can pull all of these up for you. Okay, so Amanda tried this at home. I kind of used her as my guinea pig. So these are some samples of what her kids did. Nope, there's Copper. Copper is sleeping nicely on the couch, so I left him there, hoping that that continues on. So then here's some flowers that Maddie did. So I'm going to do a quick sample on how to get started with that. So first of all, hopefully this works because I've not done this before and now I'm ripping my paper. So first of all, I am using my drawing pad here, and so this is going to be thicker paper. This one specifically is 80-pound drawing paper, so it has a little bit of tooth to it, which means when you're so like some paper's really smooth, and then this has got a little bit of a tooth to it, which kind of grabs onto your pencil and whatnot. And I'm going to try it in two different ways. So the image I posted with the Sgraffito tile and just the color crayon in the background, that was this page. So basically you go over a whole piece of paper, kind of thicker cardstock, and you cover the whole thing. And so I did that in colors, and then you want to go back and mix it with, the directions say mix it with soap, 1 part soap and 2 parts paint. So I forgot to take pictures prior to this, but here's an image. Oh, just kidding. Here's an image of my coloring the second time, because the first time I forgot to mix it with paint or soap. I forgot to mix it with soap. Also, you're going to want to use contrasting colors, so that when, like your color crayons, you maybe want brighter colors and then black on top. I don't have black paint at home, so I used like a navy blue. And I just used this Folk Art navy blue as the darkest paint I could find. But any of these, like I've been showing, will work. Tempera paint, I think, will work as long as you mix it with the soap. So anyways, I've got this one here, which is the first one that's not soap. And then I got up this morning and did one that had soap in it, just in case the non-soap did not work. Oh my goodness. Okay, so did you guys see on Facebook this morning, I asked Copper, is sad and wants to see a bunch of dog friends. And so my computer over here, like a bunch of cute little puppy dogs just keep popping up. They're so cute. Your guys' dogs are all so cute. So if you have doggies, go post them so I can show them to Copper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip you down real quick. And theoretically, this is going to be the same type of process. I'm going to use the same skewer that I used. Any scratching type apparatus would work. You could probably also use a fork, like if you, for kids or something, if you wanted lines, multiple lines together. So let's go ahead and try the soap one first, because that one is supposed to work, and then we'll go back and try the non-soap one. So again, what I did was colored with crayons. Pro tip from Amanda, she said doing cross hatching is better. So my first one, I just did like this, different color stripes all the way across the paper. And then the second one is the image I showed you, where I went back, and maybe I'll just pull that one up and leave it here so you guys can kind of see it. right here. So I forgot to take a picture, so it's already partially painted, but I'm just gonna let that hang out right there, so you can kind of see what colors, how I did that. So I did just kind of scribbled little areas and made sure my whole paper was filled. And so I did brighter colors because I was wanting to make sure you could see it through the darker paint. I think if you used darker colors and did like a white on top, that would be kind of cool too. So if you want to use whatever crayon colors you want to use, or you're gonna want to do a contrasting paint color on top. So, and again, I just pulled this giant box of crayons out of my attic area. So I have lots of colors to choose from. So I'm gonna go set those back up there. And then I painted this maybe about 8:30 this morning. So it's good and dry. The other one I painted last night, so it should be really dry. I thought I was being well prepared for today's lesson, but then once I got in bed, I realized that I forgot to add the soap. So I'm actually just going to do a quick scratching, cross our fingers, but I'm sure this is going to be awesome. So I'm just going to do a quick frame. And it is working. It's like a scratch-off ticket, guys, kind of. That's another thing you could do. You could use coins if you wanted to get more area or a bigger area. I don't know. I think I'm just going to do like a tree. Why not? I don't know. Here, we'll do a little swing. And a sunshine. Sunshine is my theme today. I much would rather, well, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't matter if I'm at the beach or if I'm hanging out on a swing by a tree. So there you go. There's my little tree scene. So obviously you could add quite a bit more detail to that, but it worked awesome. So you can see where the different colors are. Again, just like the Sgraffito I did on the pottery. If you wanted to go back and do a, oh my gosh, this is gone now. So I'm not even gonna take the time. But if you knew what you were gonna do, you could say, oh, there's gonna be a tree here, so I'm gonna paint this area or color this area green with a crayon, and then brown underneath for the trunk area. I don't know. It's kind of a cool idea. If you were trying to help kids think about processes of things, you could have them kind of sketch out a picture of what they wanted, and then color those areas in with crayons, and then go back over with the paint and then have them scratch out the actual design. So where is my, so this one's the soap. So let me see, this is the paint I actually used this morning. It's probably pretty thick right now, but I just used, I don't know, there you go, can you see this? It was 1 part dish soap, so just the standard same old dish soap I used in the bubble technique. So 1 part dish soap and then 2 parts paint, and then it's just kind of this thick mixture. And it really didn't take a lot of coats. I used a big flat brush to go over the top. You could use a sponge brush if you have something like that, or even probably just a regular sponge. But you just want to make sure there's a good solid coverage. All right, so let's flip over and see what happens if you don't add soap. All right, la la la. So the one thing that might make this actually able to work is because the crayon is waxy, so the paint actually is not going to like adhere to the wax, because it's it creates the paper, it makes the paper non-porous. So it might work this way. We'll see. Just shut up and start doing it. So I'll do this again, kind of with the border. So it's working. It's definitely working, kind of. So adding soap is definitely the way to go. So I'm not even going to go that far into it. but you can see it's working, but right here, where are we? Right here, it didn't want to dig all the way in. And so there could be two things for that. I'm going to flip you back up. All right. There could be two things for that because Amanda said definitely using like the cross hatching, so you're getting more coats of the crayon and more waxiness on the paper, is going to make it not stick as much. And I did not do that without the soap. But then also the soap. I didn't read enough instructions I didn't read the instructions far enough to decide what the heck the soap like is doing to make it do this. But yeah, there is our Sgraffito type thing. Another thing, if you guys have like a Zen garden, I mean everybody should have a Zen garden, right? Like this thing of sand on your desk that you like use a little rake. Similar situation to Sgraffito. If you just needed something to zen out on, zen out. So I'm getting a little bit crazy. I think I've been up too long. I've already downed a pot of coffee and have a backup pot. So anyways, I'm sure, don't forget if you've joined me since, that I'm doing a Zoom meeting. I'm calling it Coffee Chat Create Extended, since it'll just kind of be like, let's hang out and coffee. It's always a good thing to do, hang out and coffee. So at noon, I'm going to start that over on my new VIP, very important painters page. So come and join me there. It'll be more like a Zoom, so everybody can chat, and it's more of a two-way situation instead of you guys just typing messages to me and me responding. So hopefully that will be successful. If people enjoy doing it, or if maybe this was like too quick, I just feel like I need some more interaction, guys. I will see how it goes, and we can do it again down the road. But and then I wanted to do it on a closed VIP page. So if you guys are interested in doing that, jump on and ask to join my VIP page, and it's the Black Dog Pottery VIP, very important painters. That way we don't have a bunch of random people that may just know about it and join. I guess I'm new at the Zoom game, but I'm learning. So yeah, I think that's it. Happy coffee to everybody. Victoria, Canada. I wish I was there right now. Physically cannot get there because no crossing the border. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Does anybody have, like Amanda was just like sending me some ideas last night. Does anybody have any ideas that they want to do, or thoughts, or anything you guys want to see? Leave a message on